tell her that you love her still.
So welcome to the Diverse Creative Podcast, and I'm here today with Mia Kama. And honestly, I was just saying to you now that I went and looked through your social media and found some really lovely videos of you performing live. And you're a looping artist, right? But you're also a very proficient musician. I check you got some really great skill on the guitar and epic vocals. So yeah, tell me how you ended up getting into looping when you started creating your music. Like, what led you to looping? Was it just a desire to be able to do it all yourself? How did you get there?
So, I've always had a passion to create and write songs ever since I was very young, because I was fortunate enough to have a mom that went to all the festivals and went to all the concerts, and she is so into music, and she has such a great music taste, and I saw how it would light up the household that, I wanted to do that for other people. I wanted to light up other people's households and have my songs played on a Friday night between the family. And yeah, it's so I actually really wanted to be in a band. And I was on the hunt. I used to have a friend that she went to National School of Arts, and there were lots of musicians and those types of people there. And I'd go and I'd wait and see, like, is there any musician that'd be keen to join a band? Anyone keen to start something and do something? No one was interested. Everyone kept saying no. No, I don't have time. No, it's too much. No, not this, not
Oh
that.
my
So
God.
then I decided, you know what? What's a way that I can do it myself? How can I do it myself? Because I was always writing songs and I was always playing on the guitar, but I wanted more. I wanted the drums, I wanted the bass, I wanted the sound effects, I wanted the fullness and the liveness of it all. And then I started with just the 2-channel loop pedal, which was limited, but in that point in time, my creativity could expand. And I was so excited about it. And I was just using the onboard beats that came with the loop pedal. So it was all very generic, but I was jamming, I was enjoying, I was having fun. And my mom, she runs a food stall at all the festivals and all the markets. So I generally tag along, help out with a few shifts in the trailer, and then I'd go busk and then get some funds and things. And yeah, my mom helped me a lot along the way to gather in the funds. And bit by bit, I built up my setup to a 3-channel looper, to the beat pad. I got gifted Ableton, so now I can add really cool bass lines. Now I'm getting into the production side of things. So it all came from a desire to have a band, but not being able to join a band. And then I decided, okay, I'll do a one-man band. And then eventually I did join a band, which was cool, but now I get the best of both worlds. Now
I
I've
mean,
got the knowledge of the solo work, and then I've got the cooperating and collaborating with the band as well, because that's a different side of music that I feel is important
100%.
to explore. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an amazing thing. Like I play a lot of different instruments, and recently I've been saying to my partner, I really should just get a loop pedal because it's a bit frustrating. Like I can't I want to keep the guitar like finger picked riff that I've got going, but I also want to now add in my violin. And I physically can't do these things all at one time on stage and without a
Exactly.
loop pedal. And while I do play with the band, and that is amazing because obviously each person brings their own flavor, their own style, their own creative
Mm,
input into something. Um, there are a lot of times where I'm still performing as a solo artist, and you
mm,
know, while the rest of my band is very proficient, things like violin are not in any of their wheelhouses. So if I don't do it,
mm,
it's not gonna happen. Um,
exactly.
So it is something I've been looking at recently exploring. So it's very inspiring to check out what you've been doing as a solo artist with the loop pedal. And I did see that you do now have a band. How has that been for you? I mean, keeping bands together is A, notoriously hard to do,
Oh,
and B, very hard to tie everyone down to a schedule that works for everybody for practices. It's just like a lot of negotiation. But
yeah. It's
what
one
are
big
the,
relationship.
exactly it is, right? What are the upsides that you're finding from that?
So, I used to be in a band before this, and we were actually doing quite well in the industry. We were working under the name Far From Familiar. We even won Battle of the Bands at Rumors Lounge as well as Bailey's Bedford View. And we opened for Prime Circle, we opened for Wonderboom. We had a lot of great opportunities. We were making great segue. But then again, different families, different things happening couldn't happen. Band broke up. And so luckily I had my solo thing going, and that was also the whole point of the solo thing is you don't need to ask people for permission or when it is necessary to rehearse. I can just head to studio, do my thing, and write the songs. However, what I do love about the band is how I get inspired by other musicians. So my favorite thing about working in a band is people thinking of things that I wouldn't have thought of,
Yeah.
or bringing something forward into a project that has valuable input, and it really tests me and it pushes me to want to be better as a musician because I'm playing with incredible musicians, I'm playing with incredible artists, and I always want to improve and I always want to be better. And obviously as musicians we hard on ourselves, and we kind of take big knocks on ourselves and our skills. But what I enjoy about the band is that it does want me to push me to grow, and that we all respect each other and our opinions and our ideas, and making it work is actually such a special thing. If you can actually make a band work and you can bring your ideas together, when you finally all have time in your schedule to do that, then it is a magnificent thing. And what I love about it is just the frequency that it can create. Because same within meditation, same within prayer, if there's two or more, the frequency gets doubled,
Yeah.
it gets tripled, it gets so on a frequential base, I feel so fulfilled but challenged in a good way, challenged and fulfilled in a good way. So that's the ups for me with the band is the growth, the pushing, the inspiration, the learning. You learn so much, and also just with your emotional self, man. It takes a lot to deal with a band because it's one big relationship. Everyone's got their thoughts, everyone's got their feelings, and then also their outside relationships sometimes flow in and seep into the band and stuff like that. But it's if everyone has that same goal and everyone has that same intention, it's rewarding. Just like in a romantic relationship, it takes two sides to tango, and if there's more than one person in a band and everyone's putting in that effort to make it work, it's actually such a beautiful and rewarding experience. So I'm lucky to have the best of both worlds, because when the band gets too much, and I'll go by myself. I've got my pedal for a moment. Just a moment. Just give me a moment. I just need to. Okay, I'm back. What's up, guys? Let's do this. It's happen. Let's make it happen. So yeah, I'm
I
very
mean,
grateful. I'm very grateful.
that really is an amazing thing. And like you're saying about any relationship, I mean, good relationships push you to grow into more of your potential, right? More of who
Mm,
you
mm,
have the potential to be. And I found the same thing working with the right musicians, with musicians that complement you, but also at the same time push you to grow. Like I find myself
mm,
going places like vocally that I wouldn't have gone left to my own devices. Like if I was playing on my own,
mhm,
my brain had come up with the melody and that's where it had stuck. And then I
mm,
start playing with other people and someone comes in and adds in a guitar harmony or a riff that takes it somewhere else. And suddenly I'm like, oh, wait, like I can go up there or I could go down there.
mm.
It pushes me out of the box that my brain automatically creates for itself, right? Not that the box is a bad place to be. My brain box is very full of wonderful, diverse creativity. But I think that working with other like-minded individuals who vibrate on a similar frequency to you, but who are really so very talented and push you into more of you can be such an amazing gift, and
Definitely.
essential to the growth of the music you're making.
Definitely, because with the band, I remember with our first band, there was a point because my solo stuff is very different. It's not at all the same as to what's happening in the band. And we were having a rehearsal one time, and like you said, the guys were just jamming, and what they were bringing forward inspired something new in me, and it was like a flow state, and I just let something rip. And I'd never done something vocally like that before, where the band all stopped playing, and I said, where did that come from now? And I said to them, that was you guys. You guys literally just opened up and inspired that. I didn't know I could do that. And that's where I started realizing I could lean into harder rock vocals that I hadn't done before. So I can have with my solo music a more of an ethereal, groovy, free flow type of vocals, and then with the band I can really go and enjoy the harder stuff, the harder vocals, the different techniques, the different styles. So yeah, without the band I wouldn't have been able to discover that I could do that in that sense. So it's very cool. It's very cool. It's very cool. I really appreciate and enjoy having the opportunity to explore musically what can be within you and reach different flow states to unlock that potential, which is so nice. So
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, absolutely. It's just, especially I think for someone who's been songwriting as long as you or I have, you have kind of you've had an idea of what your songs would sound like or what your sound
Mm,
is. And like you said, unique, very unique and different. And I think I find that with a lot of people who are songwriters versus people who are just trying to um, play a bunch of covers. People who are trying to play a
mm,
bunch of covers is great, but they are automatically copying someone else's style or sound just by
mm,
default. And I think with people who are writing songs, they create from the very start a really unique sound, a unique persona, a unique idea in the world. And, you know, I know for myself, like I had always wanted to write like alt rock songs. Cannot do it. Like not actually what is in me to do on my own. When it came down to it, when I was writing on my own, whether it's the fact that I didn't have the capacity to add in like the bass guitar and a sick drum beat or whatever it was, the songs didn't end up that way. Right. But the
mm,
minute I started writing with other people, I could shift some of what I was doing into that genre. I could push it there. And
mm.
I wouldn't have been able to do that actually left with just what I was capable of. So it is a really amazing thing. Um, Tell me, how long have you been writing songs for? What is your like you said, you kind of started as a kid, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's actually funny. I found in some of the old archives of footage and videos. I was probably like 6 years old. For some reason, I was vlogging before vlogging was even a thing, but obviously never posted. But I was always on the camera, like, hey guys, look, we're busy making the garden, or come outside. My dogs are getting married. I was documenting everything and recording everything, but I always had a song for everything that I was documenting and recording that I would just like throw out there and make up on the spot. And that's, I think, essentially where it started, just randomly singing on the videos and then remembering it from there. But when I was 13, that's when I really, for the first time, sat down, took the guitar and wrote my first song. And then from there, started writing, started writing, started writing. And that just became a thing. That just became an outlet. That just, yeah, it was a, and obviously that's how it happens. You find the best outlets for release in the hardest times. So it kind of makes sense, 13, you're starting to go through these changes, you're starting to go through these developments in your mind, in your mental, in your body, in your spiritual. And yeah, that really unlocked and set me off on my songwriting. And I wouldn't say escapism, because it's not like I was actually escaping. To a degree, it's an escape, but also made me so much more present in what I
It's more
was
like
feeling. So maybe
processing.
Yeah, processing and a form of journaling in that
Yeah,
way. So
yeah,
at first, my journals were basically just songs,
yeah.
actually, songwriting, and then I had to split them up. Because then the one was like, okay, I want to remember and keep these ideas, and the other one was, okay, it can be poetry and songs, but that must not see the light of day. That is personal stuff. That's not going to be put into a song. But yeah, it's been quite some time, and it's been quite a while, and sometimes I still get stuck with some writer's block and creativity blocks, but I also think within the phases that you go through in life, things don't always just come as easy anymore. But I think that's more of a place of not being aligned within
Mm.
yourself as well as you could be. Because I've also found the songwriting for me works best when it's a channeled thing. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to force it. I don't have to really, sit down and try and work it out. I'll sit and randomly something comes to me, and then I need to act on it and go and do that right now because I'm
Yeah,
gonna lose it.
yeah.
But recently, life has been so busy and I've been working so much, and people always like contacting me, needing me. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, that when a channel comes, I can't go and grasp it.
Grab the moment. Yeah,
I can't grab the moment, and then I lose it, and then I feel demotivated, and then I feel tired, so
yeah,
more drained. So I'm needing to find the balance to be able to give myself the space and the time, and the balance to say I will be there, I am gonna come, I am gonna do this. I do just need this moment now because this is actually very important. I'm
yeah,
getting this message now. I'm not going to get it again later. The same
yeah.
way. You
Yeah,
might
the same
remember
way.
things here and there, but not the same way. Not the
Yeah,
rhythm might change slightly, or the message or the wording might change slightly. So it's very important for me to try and grasp it, and I've been neglecting that a little bit. So I'm feeling that lately within the songwriting, missing that element of like pure inspiration, pure channel, and just go for it. Um, yeah, because I don't want it to come from a place of forcefulness. I want it to come from a place of true authenticity and feeling. And I think that's what people need in music. And I think that's what's making music on the radio also feel so different and out of touch and out of place. Everything is just so
thank
forced and
you.
produced. It's just so forced and
Ah,
produced.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so very
Mm,
glad you said that.
mm,
So there's so much that I want to just chat about, brought up from what you've just mentioned. So, you know, let's start at the back and at the front and work backwards. So
mm,
radio today, super forced, super produced,
mm,
super contrived, right? And like I recently had a conversation with a musician, a friend of mine who is a lovely person, but has an idea of what he thinks every other musician is trying to achieve with their music. And in his mind, we must all be trying to be pop stars or rock stars, right? And he was saying to me, no, this is what you need to do. And this is the plan you need to follow. And you have to do this and you have to do that. And I'm a bit of a rebel. So anytime anyone says you have to, my brain automatically shuts
mm,
down and goes, no, I'm going to go left. Thanks. You say right, I go left. So,
mm,
and he was saying, you got to write like a pop banger. And I was like, I got issue with the wording for a start, bro. Like, homie, that's not me.
mm,
That's not going to, I'm not here and I never have written songs to be a pop star, a rock star. I'm not trying to be a
mm.
thing. I am just trying to channel and express what is coming through me authentically, right?
Just
And
be.
exactly. And it's so, so amazing that you've brought that up because that's exactly what I ended up feeling after the conversation is that, you know, I anyone nowadays can sit with AI and write a pop banger, but it's not authentic, right? You know, it's we can all force out something that is contrived and that follows the kind of recipe that the industry pop stars are following, but it's not going to be our own original, authentic
Mm, mm, mm.
creativity. And it's going to tell eventually that that's not true to who you are as an artist or as a person. Um,
Exactly.
so so, so fantastic to know that that is something that you as well feel, that it's not just me that feels that way about it.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
and writing music when you start out as a teenager, because I sort of started writing music at about the age of 9 or 10, and then learned instruments to back up the words and the melodies that were coming through me. Um, you are going through these massive transformative traumas. And I'm not saying that growing up is a trauma, but there's parts of it that sure as hell
Yeah,
are.
there's definitely parts of it. Hard truths
Right?
that you learn. When your parents say you understand when you're older, that's getting older and understanding.
Absolutely. And it's an amazing space to write in, because anything that is really emotionally pivotal in your life is actually far easier to use as a catalyst for writing poetry or writing songs. It's dramatic, it's you really feeling it deeply, and so it's very easy to draw on those experiences for content to write about. Whereas as you get older and you get into a period of your life that is either very busy or actually very emotionally stable and balanced, those moments of intensity are actually reduced, right? You're not experiencing these deep lows and extreme highs. You're kind of in a more level plateau of life, which is wonderful,
Mm,
and it's what we all want to kind of get to emotionally. But from a writing perspective, it definitely, you have less kind of drama to draw on, right? Less
yeah.
less emotional, energy to kind of
Yeah.
pull ideas out of.
Feel so deeply from, but I think that's also the thing is with the way that society is going, I've also experienced there's a lot of numbness that's happening, and that's because of social media. Everything is an instant gratification. Your brain's already gotten a spike, so it's actually so difficult to impress and make an impression on the mind and on the spirit because it's a numbness that happens, you know?
Mm.
You wake up, you go to work, you do your thing, you get home, you scroll. You wake up, you go to work, you do your thing, you get home, you scroll. And it just where's the feeling, where's the rawness, where's the what people want to feel, what people want to experience. Yeah. That's where the songwriting should come from, but that's also another different side of it. The
Yeah.
brain rot.
Brain rot. True story. Absolutely true story.
Big
But
problem.
like you were saying about the channeling, like whenever I
Mm,
find myself, it's very rare that I find myself in a creative block or writer's block, but it has happened very recently. Very, very recently, like a month ago, I hit this blank space, like a void of creativity. And I haven't been there very often. So it's a very lonely space for me for a while.
mm,
And it's a bit depressing, and it's a very like quiet space. And I do understand the need for like creative rest, right? I know that that's kind of something we should give ourselves time for. But at the same time, there's nothing like I have a very pleasant and stable life now. So I'm like, there's nothing to be a catalyst to re-kickstart this like creative spin. And then I found myself sitting the one night, I had a show coming up, and I was like, I got to rehearse for the show. I can't just have been sitting here for a month and not have picked up my guitar at all. So I picked up my guitar and I started thinking about why I was doing the show and who the show was for. And um, very quickly, a song came through for someone else, not even for me. It wasn't for me, but it's great because you open yourself up to being a channel for something that isn't about you, right? And I think it's an
mm.
amazing thing to be able to do that and to channel songs like that, because for me, what happens in those moments is the whole song kind of comes through, like very quickly from the first little bit of a rhythm to the words, and then everything, before you know it, the whole song is actually there, right? If you grab it in that moment, like you were
Exactly,
saying.
exactly. Effortless. It's just the vision's there. Here it is, given to
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it's such an amazing thing to hear another musician say those things, to hear that, that that is something that is true for, I think, a lot of creatives, but those who are in tune, like spiritually,
Mm,
emotionally, to the universe as a whole, that you are actually, as songwriters, we are just a channel for so
mm,
much of the story of our civilization, our world, our planet, the people on it. We
mm,
are channel and a gateway to their stories as much as our own.
mm. Exactly. Exactly. Man, because what I've also found with music, it's the one thing, no, I lie, two things. Nature, animals, and music are the two things that make me feel the closest to God. So when I do struggle with creative blocks, I look at myself. I have to go internal spiritually and just see where am I feeling disconnected from from a higher source, from the high place, from God. Where am I feeling cut off or missing from? Because when I'm in true alignment with that side of my life, everything else can be a little bit iffy. If the financials are a bit iffy, or if, you know, home life is a bit iffy, or if work is a bit iffy, that's fine. But if I'm centered within myself, things are still fine, actually. Things are still okay, actually. But when this is out and everything else is fine, that feels even more disruptive, and especially for the music, for me. So yeah, to be able to grab those channels, I really do see it like that. It's like a gift from the universe, from everything outside of yourself, outside of this world, outside of this flesh, this 3D, and but also still so part of this world, so part of the people we share it with. So it's such a crazy in between. Actually, it actually can make me existential, very existential if I think about it, because music is frequency, and what an honor, what a gift to speak through this frequency. You know, it's
Absolutely.
actually insane. It's one of the oldest languages on this planet is music.
And
Singing and
most universal.
instrumentals was before language even. That's the
Yeah.
crazy thing. This is
Yeah.
ancestral gifts and ancestral knowledge that we are taking with us. It's actually such a blessing. It's such an incredible thing.
It is
Such
absolutely, and such a calling for some of us. It's not something
mm,
we can't not do it because it's part
mm,
of our purpose and our function in this world.
exactly.
Yeah, and it's an
Even if
amazing
it's
gift.
hard. Even if it's hard.
Absolutely.
Everything's gonna be a challenge. Anything in life is gonna be a challenge. Pick your hard. Pick your hard.
I like
But
that.
doesn't have to be a challenge that breaks you, you know? Like you said, makes you stronger, opens challenge that makes you grow, challenge that pushes you to discover things that you didn't know you were able to do before, which is very cool, which is very cool. Um, yeah, and the music industry in itself can be very tough. Um, and then again, it does take me back to now the radio stuff and the pop music and the
Mm,
social medias, because what I've also found with today's generations, they cannot sit through a full song.
so
The
true.
problem that I found with social media is they play the hook, they play the chorus of a song. 30 seconds, people are over it. 30 seconds,
Yeah.
people are over. 30 seconds, they only want to listen to that part, and that's that. I had a show by my sister's college university dorms, and had a bit of a DJ situation going on. After 30 seconds, they wanted to change the song. Then 30 seconds, they hear the hook, change the song, change the song, change the song. And I'm like, guys, there's a whole journey of the song still. Do you know there's still like a bridge? There's still like breakdowns. There's
Yeah.
still other parts that are going to come in that bring something different to the song. You're missing the point, and the point is the journey. You just want the
Absolutely.
instant gratification. You just want to hear that hook that you know because you've been scrolling and you've been hearing it in all these videos. And then after that, you don't care about the rest because your brain actually can't sit and focus for longer, for on a song for longer than 30 seconds to a minute. And
Yeah.
that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. And then that again brings me to the radio station where of course my music isn't conventional, and it's not the stereotypical type of music, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, because we create to be authentic, we create because
Mm,
that's what we get. But at the same time, everything has a time limit, and I also understand that, but we are entrapping ourselves as society in time, a concept we've invented. Nature doesn't have time. Animals don't have time. We have change
mm.
of seasons. We have cycles. We've got circadian rhythms, but not on this minute, you can only have lunch for 15 minutes, or you need to be there within this time frame,
Your
or
song has got to be 3 minutes and 40 seconds
yes,
and no
it's gotta
longer.
be 3 minutes. You need to start singing by 20 seconds already.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people have lost interest. And that I can't create under these conditions. For me personally, I haven't felt the need to sing by 20 seconds yet. I'm still telling the story. Let the riff speak, you know? I'm still bringing in the elements. And that's what also makes today's difficult as a musician, is all these restrictions, and music is actually supposed to be limitless. There shouldn't be
Absolutely.
restrictions on creation. It
Yeah.
should just be.
And I mean, we do really absolutely have an industry at the moment that is driving us towards shorter and shorter snippets of content. And, you know, the story of life is not told in 30 seconds. The story of life is not told in 3 minutes. And like it is for me, like you, I mean, I went and I checked on your YouTube channel, and I was like, your songs range from like sort of 5.5 minutes to 7.5 minutes. And I was like,
Yeah.
you're making me feel so much better about my lengthy songs right now. Like I can totally appreciate it. And
That's my thing. I was also checking. Sometimes I edit and I'm mixing the song, and then I listen and I see, oh, we're already at 7 minutes, eh? And then I want to cut parts of the song, and then if I cut parts and I listen to it, I'm missing a certain, what I'm feeling is I want to hear that certain parts. And then I'm like, whatever. People want to listen to 7 minutes, and they can. If they don't want to, then they don't have to. Then they can skip. But this is the song. This is the creation process. This is what I felt. And to go shorter and shorter, you're actually cutting out so much of the story.
and at least you're giving people the option to hear the full thing if they
Yeah,
want to. You're not making that
yeah,
choice for them by chopping it out to
exactly,
suit a radio station's timeline, you know?
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I think with radio these days, I do understand. Like I actually studied radio and broadcasting before I overcame stage fright and all sorts of other things and actually began performing as a musician. I thought, okay, radio might be a backup for me.
Mm,
And so I studied radio and broadcasting, and I do have an understanding of how most commercial radio stations run, and that they've got to squeeze in that advertising is actually their primary revenue, and so they
mm,
prioritize time to adverts because that's where their money comes from. Music is actually just something that they use to pull people in to listen to adverts, actually, at
mm,
the end of the day. And that's why they are not particularly interested in the music. They're not particularly interested in promoting new artists. They want something that is familiar,
mhm.
that will just catch people quickly and keep them there long enough to listen to the next advert.
Yes.
And it's a really sad truth about commercial radio, right?
It's
Sucks.
clever, but it is sad.
Very
Very
sad.
clever, but very sad.
Yeah, and it does mean that they limit songs. Like the time limit for songs is 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Like that's their
Mm,
maximum. If they play a song that's 3 minutes and 40 seconds, which is rare, they do it begrudgingly and only because it is an
mm.
old favorite that everyone's been listening to since the 90s.
Bohemian Rhapsody is a brilliant example.
Broke the mold so completely. And I mean, they had to
Broke.
have an argument with the radio station and their production team and absolutely everyone to get that song on radio, because they were like, it's 5.5 minutes long. We are not playing a song that's 5.5 minutes long.
Mhm.
And they were like, you will play the song or you will play none of our songs.
And also, they said it wasn't a good song. They also said this isn't going to sell. People aren't going to like it, and radio stations have said the same thing to me. And then I say to them, you don't give them the opportunity to decide what they're going
What
to
they
like or
like.
not like. You deciding,
Exactly.
you molding the taste of music. You are molding the general of music. So that's why I love that Bohemian Rhapsody story. It's such an inspiration because they were also told people aren't going to like the song. It's too long. So now they're going back. Now you're going backwards again. But I also
Yeah.
understand, like you said, the ads, the revenues, there's time limits. You need to get to the traffic, you need to get to the news, you need to get to the ads, you need to get to there's a lot of things to get to. So I do understand that. But that's what I also enjoyed so much about Mix FM, which is such a pity that the station got
Mm,
hijacked and they
mm.
lost that because they actually did care about specifically South African artists and
Absolutely.
playing longer songs and playing older songs and real music, real stuff. It wasn't poppy. It wasn't very poppy at all.
Yeah.
Which I loved about it. You discovered all types of genres. There was rock. There were sometimes they even played trance on there. Depends on what time of the day and night. They played all sorts of different things on there that I hadn't heard before, which was great because that's what music radio should be. You're discovering music,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's what it should
Absolutely.
be.
And I mean, like, I look back at sort of the 90s and the early 2000s where I was listening to like Barney Simon late at night on a Friday, where he was playing like some off the wall alternative rock band that he found somewhere in the back alleys of
Yeah,
Joburg. And he was like, you got to hear these guys, you know? But
yeah.
that's how we would discover new music. That's how music in this country was able to grow during that period of time. And now we're sitting in a position where, aside from Mix FM, which anyone who ever listened to that station or was featured on that station has got so much love for what it was, right? So
Mm,
much appreciation for it. Aside from that, we now have kind of like this pay to win vibe with most of our commercial radio stations, where
mm,
if if you want to get on there at all, you're paying somebody for a start, instead of it just being based on the value of what you as an artist are bringing to them,
mm,
right?
mm-hmm.
And if you don't, they either don't bother listening in the first place, or they tell you, oh, it's just not, it's not good enough. It's not poppy enough. It's not the right vibe. It's too interesting. I mean, who gets
Mm,
told they're too interesting?
mm-mm.
Like,
Too out there. That's
too
too
out
out there.
there. That's
Imagine
too
telling
out there.
artists and painters that, you know,
Sorry, you're
but
breaking the mold. Don't do it.
yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. And then also just BPMs as well. The
Yeah.
specific BPMs and stuff like that. That was also an interesting one to me. So now I need to, write at a certain tempo and cut it to a certain pace. That made songwriting so much harder. That pushed me into my first creative block because I just felt so much of the limit and not enough of the freedom, and that's what made me want to do music in the first place.
Mm,
Freedom,
mm,
to feel free.
yeah.
Now it's the exact opposite. Um which is sad, but which is what I appreciate about Galpalooza as well. It's giving that platform to freedom. It's giving that
Mm,
platform of expression and being a woman in the music industry, some things do get overlooked a little bit, and I won't say that people do it on purpose. I really don't think a lot of the people in the industry have the intention of doing it on purpose, overlooking or just not realizing the potential that women can bring, and the drive that women can bring in the industry. I do think it's case specific and situation specific.
mm,
um but at the end of the day, it's great to have the honor and to have the opportunity to play on a platform that gives you all the time and that gives you all the tools and platforms to be free, because that's the whole point. Is you want to be free in the music you create, and you want to bring forward a certain feeling and a certain thing. And if it's not going to happen on radio, at least it can happen through live music and
yeah.
festivals, which I feel like is very important, because that's also the music industry, and that side is also taking a hit.
Mm,
Um, but unfortunately, people really don't have money. And with the way that things are going, people are working 2 to 3 jobs, so they also don't have time. So it's a difficult balance, but that's why it's so lovely to be able to push for something that makes it affordable for people to go and experience live music, which is very important. That the whole point of that's something that AI cannot replace, is live
absolutely.
music. Because, okay, yeah, you can go put your AI robots and they're going to play it perfectly. What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the
But
point if it's
also,
perfect?
I mean, exactly. Like, some of the most beautiful things in art, in music, in life come out of the errors, right? Come out of the
Hmm.
imperfections, come out of that thing that isn't quite perfect. That's what makes you notice it in the first place, right? That's what
Hmm.
makes it human and relatable. There's in art, there's a thing where if something is too perfect, if a human face is too perfect. If you've literally taken the right side and mirrored it perfectly onto the left side, your brain rebels against it.
Mm.
There's something in you that recognizes it as as almost alien, and you
Yes, yes,
instantly
yes.
withdraw from that because it feels like there's something wrong with the perfection of it. And
Mm,
we need human experience, human connection, and our souls, our minds, our bodies, we actually seek that out. And we're living in a world of isolation where more and more people are spending less and less time connecting in the real world with real people.
mm,
And live music and live shows offer you that opportunity not only to watch a live performance with all of its raw, real world energy and
mm.
interconnectedness between you as the audience and the artist who's on stage, but it also offers you the opportunity to actually stand next to another human being and share that experience, right? And that
Yeah.
is such a vital thing, is actually sharing that experience with other human beings alongside you, feeling that connected emotional
Ooh, I'm
energy.
even getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
so true. It's goosebumps. It's a goosebump thing if you actually think about it, because not every performance, not every moment is ever going to be the same. So you have that moment and you have that performance with the people. Even if you're a musician in the crowd watching another show, it's being part of that, in that you, either way, you're part of it. Whether you're on stage or you're in the crowd, you're part of it. That's the whole
Yeah,
point of it, is
yeah,
being part of it. And that's why I want to push for live shows. I want to push for festivals. I want to push to keep the industry alive in that way. That's the only way we can combat everything else that comes with it. That's the only way we can combat the social media side, the song limits, because no one's thinking about song limits when you're live on stage. In fact, it goes too quickly. People don't
yeah,
realize they've been standing there for 10 minutes already listening to one song. And then
yeah,
when the song's up,
exactly.
they go, where, play it again. We want more. Where's the rest of the song? It's like, guys, that was a 10-minute song, eh? You know? But they don't realize, because you're in the moment, you're having so much fun, you're dancing with the people, you're meeting new people, you're actually enjoying the sunset with what's happening around you. You're noticing things around you that you haven't noticed before. It's a moment to take you out of the everyday, the distraction, the numbness, the hustle, the bustle, the traffic, the bills, and really being present in the now. And then
Mm.
when you're in the now, time and all these other things, restrictions on song, limits on song, none of that exists. All that you have is the now and what you're enjoying now. It's so important. It's so important to keep the music industry alive in that way. Live shows and bringing people out and getting people together is a big mission for me. That's a big mission for me. Even though I myself, I get socially drained very quickly as well. But I think that's also territory that comes with being the performer on stage, because you actually
Mm.
give so much. But it's also such an incredible thing. It also depends on the crowd. Because if a crowd is lacquer, I don't even feel the energy drain. I
No,
just,
because
it
there's a
feeds
feedback
you.
loop,
Yes,
right?
it feeds you. But sometimes you do get difficult crowds, and then I get off that stage and I'm just like powered off, and I feel it like as if I've been piled by bricks. But the thing is, even with that, I still crave that. I still crave trying to get out there and trying to bring people together. And then once I've done that, then I need my alone time again. And then I'm like, okay, gonna retreat back here. Cool, that was nice. Power up. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it again, because I do see the balance. Both is important. Both is important. Um, but man, there's nothing like live music, and some of my earliest memories as a kid is live shows. Live
Yeah.
shows, dance floors, live shows and dance floors. That's my happy
Mm.
place. That's my happy place. And I've also realized the reason why I love music so much is because it makes me dance. And I love dancing, actually. I love just anything to do with
Movement.
outward expressive and, yeah, moving and expressing. And whether you're loud, whether you all strange, you gotta contort in different ways. Let it go. Don't worry. Just be. And that's also a form of release. We don't release enough. We don't move enough anymore in a society. But not just releasing and moving, actually releasing and moving, as in outward, physical.
Yeah.
joy, you
Yeah.
know? That's that's
The
that's that
jump for
that's
joy
been my
moment. That
yeah,
need to actually physically jump for joy and move your body in joyful
exactly.
expression. Yeah.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's ever since I was a kid and performers made me feel that way. That's been a goal for me. It's like, wow, I actually want people to feel something. I
Yeah.
actually want people to feel something outside of the everyday. And um yeah, I try and keep sight of that as well. When I have shows and things like that, because like I said, every show is different. Some things are harder than others. And there's always been a little bit of a growing moment, a challenge. I know we've all had those shows where we think, oh my goodness, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I even doing this? What is the point? But then you can ground yourself back into the point when you watch people dance, when you watch people laugh, when the kiddies are always so fascinated with the looping, when they always come to the stage and like, oh, and they're so excited. And that's the point. The
Yeah.
point is feeling, the point is igniting something. And, you know, like I said, with AI and robots and things, you can't replace the real and the raw. And I did a show at Earth Dance, and I played right before Zolani, the headline act. And I was so nervous and I was so honored. And obviously, as a true performer, something had to go wrong. And
Ah!
my equipment just bombed out. Everything just bombed out. And I had to shut everything down. I had to restart things and I had to think on my feet because now the show in the middle of the song has been completely disrupted. And I've
Right.
and I've pulled all these people because when I started there was no one on the dance floor, and I pulled this whole crowd, and the moment it was full, everything decides to bomb out.
Mm.
And I made a plan, and I carry on with the show. I play into it. I do what I can, but afterwards kicked myself. I felt so bad. I felt so bad about it, and I felt like I let the organizers down. I felt like I let myself down, but it was things that was out of my control. I didn't know
Yeah.
why that happened. Sometimes I have a theory that, unfortunately, now this is the other side of it, being a loop artist, compared to having a band, is it's very electronic based in what I'm using, and I feel like when frequency gets quite
Elevated.
fired, elevated, it might affect the equipment. I don't know.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
could happen. But afterwards, I got so many messages that following week in my Instagram inboxes of people saying that even though my show was the one where the equipment bombed out and things went wrong, my show was the favorite because it was so authentic, and because I handled the technical difficulty so well, and they want to see any other show that I have to offer, and they fans now for life, and they respected the way that I handled it. And that is what raw music and live music is about. It
Yeah.
wasn't perfect, but that's what the people enjoyed about it. It was
Yeah.
in that moment they could see that it was out of my control, but that I worked with it and I tried to make it an experience anyway, even
Yeah.
within that, okay, didn't go as planned. And yes, what happened on the music side was a bit weird, but it was what came outside of the music side as well. I generally just made an effort then to connect with the crowd and
Mm.
and be with the crowd in that moment, because what I'm experiencing, they're experiencing with me, and this is now a team effort. We are
Yeah.
now going through it as a team, and I was just so appreciative of that because, yeah, like I said, I felt so bad about it. I felt so bad, and I felt like I had let everyone down. But the fact that people enjoyed it so much, still, and didn't hold it against me, was just the biggest blessing and reminder of why we do this as
Mm.
musicians.
And
Um,
and such an amazing thing actually, because in that moment, I think a lot of the time we've got these musicians or artists or DJs and they're up on a pedestal, like quite literally. Like we can't help it, they put us on a stage. It's above everyone. That's
mm,
just where they put us. So you can all see us
mm,
there. But the fact of the matter is that we almost have this separation by default. The musician,
mm,
the act is up there. And when something
mm,
goes wrong, when they're able to do what you did and be with the crowd in that moment, to be like, guys, we're in it together.
Mm,
this is a whole new experience for all of us. We're sharing this moment. Then
mm,
suddenly you're human again and you're human with them and we're all connected and
mm.
we all have those moments in life. And that makes you so much more relatable, so much easier to connect with. And people then kind of go like, oh, shame, but we're here for her. Like, and
Exactly.
it actually creates a stronger connection than perfection
Mm.
ever could.
True. I think that was the thing that I was most grateful about is that people said it didn't take away from what I was bringing forward in the music. They still got the message. They
Yeah.
still got the message. They still got the feeling. I still achieved what I actually wanted to achieve when I thought, ooh, Enna, now everything's out the window. Now I didn't get to bring my message across. Now what I wanted to make people feel, I couldn't let them feel. When in fact they actually felt more. Because like you said, it was relatable. And in that moment, it wasn't just, oh, this person on the stage above and beyond, and that's not the point of music. In that moment, they saw that I was just a girl who loved to jam. And sometimes things go wrong, but that is life. Sometimes
Yeah.
things don't always go to plan. But you got to
Yeah.
go with the ebbs and you got to go with the flows. And we're not going to hold things against people if things don't go to plan or if we make mistakes as humans, or even if it is your mistake or out of your control completely. Have grace with people. I think that's also the message that comes with that. In everyday life we also harden ourselves. And we don't need to be hard with each other. If we're going to be hard with on ourselves, at least have a bit of grace with those around you. You're going to see how much softer you can be with yourself as well, because of course we want to keep ourselves at the standard. Don't let your standards drop. Don't let your goals drop, but don't be ugly with yourself if you're not at a point there just yet, and don't be ugly with others if you're not at a point there within yourself just yet. And that's I think that moment at Earth Dance was my favorite, because looking back, in the moment not so much, but looking back and seeing how people actually responded to it made me realize, wow, yeah, we all human. We all have this experience together, and we're looking at the music industry, all these professionals who you're up against,
Mm.
and who you are actually up against in big world music is big production, big lighting, big sound, big names, big artists, but everyone's got 2 to 3 producers, everyone's got 4 to 5 songwriters, everyone's got a massive PR team, your fashion, your makeup, your hair,
Yeah.
your looks, personality. It's
Yeah. Your
actually all a big
pyrotechnics.
Exactly. It's actually all a big team. It's actually all a big production, which is cool. We also do need that side of things. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, when you just take it back down to, oh, this is someone that loves to create music, and this is someone that likes to be here with you, the people now. It's
Yeah.
not always about the big and the fancy. It's not always about the outward. It's about the inward.
Yeah.
Um, and I want to find the balance, because I do want to put some more like fancy stage things in if I can.
We all
But
do. We
um,
all do.
we all
As long
do. We all do. Because we want to be
it's
up there with those professionals. But
and it
then
looks
we
like
don't want to be
fun.
separate. It looks like fun, but we don't want to be separated too much from the people as well. So
100%.
that's a balance that I'm also still looking at. That's something that I'm still looking into, but we just put one foot in front of the other, do as best as we can, and try to not lose the enjoyment. I think that's the
Yeah.
main thing for me as well. Overthinking it and comparing and um being too hard on oneself can also take away from the enjoyment, which is the whole point of why we started it. And if you enjoy yourself, the people enjoy themselves. Doesn't matter what's happening, you know? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, we're all having a good time. It's gonna be a good time. It's supposed to be a good time.
So now you're bringing this good time to Galpalooza. You performed at last year's Galpalooza as well. And
Yes,
you
by
obviously
luck, by
enjoyed it.
chance.
By chance. Well, you obviously enjoyed it because you're back this year. And they obviously enjoyed it because you're
Yes.
back this year. So that is an amazing, amazing thing. Which venue are you performing at?
So I'm going to be playing at Klitsgras, which is a venue that I know and love. Feels like home there. The people there are amazing. It's definitely going to be my type of people, my type of crowd. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, stunning venue. Beautiful energy, beautiful frequency, and I'm very honored to be back there under Galpalooza's lineup this year. It's going to be great.
That's amazing. Actually, Andres, who owns Klitsgras, is a very good friend of mine. So I know that his space and his whole vibe and everything about what he's put together there is pretty magical. And it's
Definitely.
it's a really, really amazing thing to have a to have that there, because I think Andres is always very supportive of music, and very, very supportive of female acts, very supportive of
Mm,
really encouraging this industry and live music in this industry to have a place to
mm.
be. So that is super, super cool. And if there is anything that you found from last year's Galpalooza that really stood out to you, what would it be?
Man, the people were so supportive. That crowd, doesn't matter who was playing or what song they were playing, because a lot of the times you'll find at shows that I've played, certain genres of songs or certain tempos of songs would get a bigger reaction out of people.
Mm,
Um, but at Galpalooza, every single song that every single artist played, the crowd was always exactly the same amount of energy.
that's amazing.
Whether you played a slow, like heartfelt song, people are like, or whether you played like a super fun, funky, uppy song, yeah, that's what I love. That was my favorite part. Is doesn't matter what you're putting forward, the people were so supportive and they loved it so much, and you could see that they were honestly there to listen to what the artist had to put forward, and they enjoyed every bit of individuality and authenticity that came from every single artist there. Every single artist was appreciated fully, and that's what I loved about it, because I've been to so many festivals where an artist plays, people enjoy it. The moment the next person comes on, people leave. Now they
Mm,
go somewhere else. But the crowd at Galpalooza, they stayed for
yeah.
everyone's acts, everyone's performance, and that's an amazing support. And that's what I also want to see more in the music industry from people. Like I said, that's the teamwork that comes through, and that was my favorite gig of the year. Beautiful space, beautiful evening. The moon was so bright, and it reflected in the people, man. The people were so bright. I felt so connected. I felt so in my element. We had so many lekker laughs on the stage, off the stage. It was just such a beautiful experience. I was so grateful to have made it, because I actually wasn't originally picked to be in the lineup that year. I missed the enroll date. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
find the
like the
words, but I
deadline.
missed the time, the deadline. I missed the deadline to be on the lineup. And then Jolene said someone cancelled. The Angels grabbed you a spot, and it was actually the perfect time slot as well. The time of the evening, the people that were there at that moment, the way that the moon was in the sky as I was playing, everything about it was just so perfect. So I was very grateful for that, and even more super grateful that this year I made it onto the lineup at Klitsgras, because I also appreciate Andri so much. He's also supported me through my music and through my journey. He's watched me change and grow and develop my style. And I must say, what I have found is a lot of the males, older males in the
Mm,
industry, they come to me and they say things that feel like they come from a malicious place.
right.
So, it's not giving constructive. I've already said, now when people say, can I give you constructive criticism, or can I give you some criticism, I tell them, you actually can't. You can give me constructive advice,
It's a
but I don't
different
want to be
thing.
criticized. Yeah, I don't want to be criticized. And it's especially criticism of, oh, that was shit, isn't going to help me grow as an artist.
100%. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not going to make it, that's only going to break me down. It's only going to kill my love for what I'm doing. If you want to give me constructive advice, If you actually have a solution, like, oh, I see you struggle with this, have you thought of that? Or I see this is a place that you could probably improve on, have you thought of trying this? You know, that I can work with. But to come to me and tell me your music is lifeless and empty, or you just suck, or you empty on your own, or whatever, that doesn't help me. Andres has always been the type of person to come forward and actually give me a solution or something
Yeah.
that I can work with, something that inspires me to grow. And he doesn't make me feel horrible as an artist. He doesn't make me feel like there's
Never
no
makes you
point to
feel
what I'm doing.
less, right?
It doesn't make me feel less when so many of the other performers, specifically, I'm sorry, but specifically older males, the things that they have said have literally told me my music is lifeless and empty. Looked me in the eyes and said, your music is lifeless and empty. You should rather go back to your band. And it's like, I'm still with, I've still got things to do with the band, but this is a very different thing. And
Yeah.
and I feel what's the point of saying that to someone? You
Yeah.
know, creating music. I don't feel like that's necessary. If you don't like it, you don't have to say it like that.
No,
It's
absolutely.
music isn't
Totally.
going to be everyone's cup of tea. There's a lot of artists that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm not going to go, even if someone performed that it's not my type of music, I'm not going to go and say that was horrible, you
You're not going to
know?
seek
In
them out
fact,
to break them down.
no. In fact, I will actually still go and say, you know what? Keep it up, man. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get up on that stage. And I did see people in the crowd enjoy your music. So who am I to say that was horrible? You
Mm.
know? So that's why I don't like even constructive criticism. I don't take it. Constructive advice? Yes. Give me constructive
Totally
advice
different
any
thing.
totally
Yeah.
different thing. Happy to take that, and that's what I appreciate about Andres. He's always given me constructive advice. He's
Yeah.
always been inspiring. So I'm very grateful and honored to go and play at his venue, and then have Jolene, who's done such amazing work for the industry in terms of females getting opportunities, getting on stage, sharing their music, sharing who they are, telling their story, to be under her festival as well. Those two, Jolene and Andres, powerhouse of people, and I'm very grateful to have come into connection with them and to come into contact with them and to be able to work with them the way that I am right now, because it's an incredible thing that they're doing for the industry. It's an
Yeah.
incredible thing that they're inspiring within musicians, and whew, makes me emotional. It's so beautiful. But yeah, it's a great honor. It's a great honor, and I'm very excited, and I want to make this show a great one. I want to make this year a little one. I'm
Well,
very
I mean,
keen.
honestly, like having had this conversation with you and having, I mean, even before when I checked out your music, I was like, I would totally dig to see this chick perform live. But now having had this conversation with you, I really feel like I have another level of respect for you as an artist. I love your originality, your authenticity, and I love your energy and the vibe that you're going to bring to it. And I think that anyone who has the opportunity to see you live should really be there and be part of the show with you, which is an incredible, incredible thing. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. I've loved literally every minute of it. So thank you so much. And just quickly tell me where people can go and find your music. I obviously mentioned they can go and watch some beautiful videos of you performing on your social media and on YouTube. You just give me the basics of where they can find you.
So you can find me basically everywhere and anywhere. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music, any and all platforms you can find some of my songs, with more to come. I've only got a handful, but I'm working on it, which is nice. It's lovely to be able to say there will be much more. Got big plans, big ideas. And yeah, anyway, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all the socials, I just don't have Blue Sky or Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. I just don't have those types of things, but all the other type of generic socials, people can find me. And then the only thing is under the name, if people search me, Mia Kama, it's Kama, as in Kama Sutra, because we're all about the love here.
There you go.
They tend to go search karma with an R, and then they struggle to find me. So
Okay.
that's why I like to say Kama as in Kama Sutra, so that they know it's not
It's a
the
great
same
way
thing.
to get people to remember it.
Exactly. That was the initiative. That was the plan behind it. And yeah, for anyone wondering, that is actually my full legal name. So it's not a stage name. Everyone's asking me. I've had people say, just between you and me, what's your real name? And I'm like, that is my real name. That's my name. So
I
that's
have a
how
very similar situation, so I totally relate.
Really? Yeah, people can't. It's like, wow, it's like you were born to be a performer. You've just got the name for it. And I actually had someone in high school, because I used to be bullied for my name. So then I just went by Mia, and then later on in high school I was like, you know what? I'm gonna own it. My name is Mia Kama. That is my name. It's not a middle name. It's a hyphenated name. It's one full name. And I would introduce myself and I'd say, hi, my name is Mia Kama. And the one person was like, what, is that like a stage name or something? I was like, it will be. So yeah, Mia Kama, Kama. You can find me anywhere and mostly everywhere. And man, I'm looking forward to many more opportunities to perform and connect with people and explore, hopefully more of the country, hopefully more of the world. And yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to interview and chat today. It was actually such a lovely chat and such a inspirational way to start the week. I'm feeling fired up. I'm feeling grounded and connected and yeah, inspired and hyped up for the week. So thank you so much for the brilliant conversation.
As am I, feeling equally as motivated. So thank you so very much, Mia. Mia Kama, everybody, at Galpalooza this year. If you want to find her, that's where you'll find her next.
Please come. Please come. It's going to be so epic. So epic.
You can tell love that you love.